Hi, I'm Lotsie Hermann Holton, and this is my mom, Lily Busch Hermann, who was the firstborn child of August A. Busch Jr., who we called Gussie or Kid Busch. His firstborn daughter he named Lily after his grandmother, Lily Anheuser, who married Adolphus Busch, and together they built this beautiful Villa Lilly. This is a brochure we were given at Villa Lilly in June of 2018 when Rick and I visited, and it's the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the death of Adolphus Busch at Villa Lilly. And I'm going to have this translated for you into English now. I hope you enjoy this walk down memory lane and these historical facts of our family. The city of Bad Schwalbach and the therapy village of Villa Lilly take the 100th anniversary of the death of Adolphus Busch as an opportunity to commemorate Adolphus Busch with a joint event. Mayor Martin Hussmann and therapy director Michael Schwint cordially invite you Friday, November 8th, 2013. Villa Lilly, Bad Schwalbach, Linscheid. 6:30 guided tour through the therapy village, 8 o'clock film screening, Villa Lilly or The Beer King. Film length 75 minutes. In the program, breaks, entertainment, and complimentary offers. Come to Villa Lilly, enjoy a rewarding, informative, and entertaining evening at Villa Lilly, the former estate of Adolphus Busch and his wife Lily. The tour shows and explains the estate built by Adolphus Busch as well as its current use. The film, produced by Ulf von Mecho in 1985, vividly documents the life of the German-American entrepreneur and founder of the brewery dynasty Anheuser-Busch, who loved to spend the summer here in Linscheid and was already a legend during his lifetime. Even contemporary witnesses who could still remember Busch report and show photographs from the time. Adolphus Busch, 10th of July, 1839 in Kastel. The Beer King. Adolphus Busch was a successful German-American entrepreneur, brewer, and founder of the brewer dynasty Anheuser-Busch in the USA. Adolphus was born the second youngest of 22 children of the Busch family. His father, Ulrich Busch, was a successful trader, innkeeper, and landowner. The Mainz high school student Adolphus graduated from Darmstadt Academy and attended a Brussels university. As early as 1857, when he was 18, the travel fever seized him and he emigrated to America. Likewise, some of his siblings decided to seek their fortune in the New World. His brother Johann built a brewery in Washington, Missouri. Ulrich, who married a sister of Adolphus's wife Lily, lived with her in Chicago and went there to do his business with brewery supplies. His brother Anton, a hop trader, later returned home to Mainz. Adolphus Busch settled in St. Louis, Missouri. As an employee in the local wholesaler William Heinrichshofen, he learned his profession from scratch. For 3 months, Busch served in the Union Army of the Northern States and was involved in fighting horse thieves and Indians of the tribe of the Shoshone. In 1859, he resigned from the Army. With the paid-out parental inheritance, he joined the wholesale company of Ernst Wattenberg in St. Louis. In 1865, he paid off his partner and continued to run the business as a wholesaler, Adolphus Busch and Company. The young wholesaler became acquainted with Lily Anheuser from Bad Kreuznach, whose parents had a small brewery in St. Louis. On March 7, 1861, Adolphus Busch and 17-year-old Lily married. In 1864, his father-in-law, Eberhard Anheuser, motivated him to transfer to the management of the brewery, Anheuser and Company. Busch ran both companies in parallel until 1869, then sold his stake in the flourishing wholesale house and took over half of the Anheuser brewery from William Dench. On European trips in the early 1870s, Busch heard about Louis Pasteur's success in killing microorganisms through brief heating. The U.S. brewer began experimenting and was the first to use the pasteurization method on beer in the United States. The barley juice was thus resistant to temperature fluctuations and suffered no loss of taste. It is thus possible for the Anheuser Brewery to deliver the alcoholic beverage of constant quality throughout the country. This is the Adolphus Busch bust that is still in the villa. Busch took care of new markets, introduced technical innovations, and modernized business processes. In 1879, in recognition of its enormous contributions, the company was renamed the Anheuser-Busch Brewing Association, and when Anheuser died the following year, Busch became president of what is now the largest brewery in the U.S. and remained so until his death. The light beer, also brewed by Busch under the name Budweiser, was later to become the best-selling beer in the world. In 1891, Busch bought the trademark and the name Budweiser from Carl Conrad, after Busch's brewery had been offering beer under this label since 1883. In the same year, the Adolphus Busch Glass Manufacturing Company began producing beer bottles. In the meantime, Busch had also acquired stakes in other breweries, was entrepreneurial in some other companies, or represented as a silent partner and even president of a bank. In 1901, Anheuser-Busch's beer output exceeded 1 million barrels in 1 year. This is a picture of Lilly Busch around 1910. This is the coat of arms of the Anheuser-Busch Brewing Company. The rapid success of the brewery made its owner independent and allowed him to work beneficially and to promote German culture in the United States on a grand scale. Adolphus Busch never let down the contacts to Germany. When in 1882 a devastating Rhine flood also affected Kastel, the overseas benefactor donated a lot of money to those affected in the homeland to alleviate the worst need. In 1902, the source of the Ox Fountain received in its hometown an enclosure with an impressive vault. The millionaire could later afford to use his own railroad saloon car traveling, which was also taken on ship trips. He liked to spend summers with his wife in Germany. In the named after her Villa Lilly in Leinstedt in Taunus, the bustling brewer died in October 1913. His coffin with the remains was transported in 1915 by ship and then train in the saloon car to St. Louis. The brewery was continued by his son, August A. Busch. Lilly, who gave birth to 13 children to her husband, died on 25th of February 1928 in St. Louis. Does the Beer King's heart rest here in the beautiful park? The legend. A rumor wants Busch to leave his heart at Villa Lilly, literally. The witnesses knew that the corpse was embalmed for the transfer to America, but they also said, behind closed doors, that his heart was removed from his body and buried in the park of the estate. He said his heart would always be at Villa Lilly. The director, Michael Schwint, who showed us around the villa in June, said a hunter found a grave in the forest in which they think Adolphus's heart is buried. He and the present mayor of Bad Schwalbach are going to exhume this summer and see what's in this grave. Villa Lilly is a historic building complex in the neighborhood of Leinstedt, a district of Bad Schwalbach. It was originally built in the years 1891 to 1915 to drafts by the architects Friedrich Groh and Joseph Drescher as a summer residence for the German-American beer manufacturer Adolphus Busch. Beer King Adolphus Busch planned and built his estate near his original home, Mainz Kastel. From his summer residence, he toured Germany with the saloon car introduced specially from the USA, where not only cultural events such as the Bayreuth Festival were tempting, but also grain prices which were negotiated locally, especially in Bohemia. The main villa of Villa Lilly was first built in 1891 and named after the name of the builder's wife, Adolphus Busch, Haus Lilly. The building, which is unique in Hesse, is architecturally characterized by a mixture of European classicism and American colonial style. It was only later that the second largest house, Haus Clare, was completed, which, with its Art Nouveau elements, is more European in character. In addition to the generously proportioned residential buildings, some reminiscent of hunting castles, There are extensive farm buildings, including a historic greenhouse. They stand in a loose ensemble on the 39-acre park-like grounds, with the farm buildings are grouped around the reminiscent of a village square yard. The Villa Lilly was farmed and occupied throughout the year by extensive staff. This is reminiscent of a number of smaller historic buildings that are more hidden and less represented to the site. To the property belonged in former times also a large fairy tale park which attracted visitors from all over Hesse. The figures of the park were lost in the turmoil of the Second World War and the post-war period. Under the Nazis, Villa Lilly was used as a mother's retreat home by the National Socialist People's Welfare. Later, American soldiers were housed there, followed by uses as a boarding school, the Albert Schweitzer School, 1959 to 1972, and as a social institution, home for popular education and youth care, Haus Schwalbach, 1949 to 1959. In 1961, Hessen, the estate, acquired the land and renovated it later, consuming 15 million marks. The total estate was, meantime, also by members of the new Frankfurt School. The buildings are all listed today. In the meantime, ownership has been transferred to today's users and previous tenants. The Villa Lilly has been used as a therapeutic treatment for drug-addicted people, drug therapy, since 1987. With 85 treatment places for those affected and 10 places for the children of drug-addicted parents, the facility is one of the largest in Germany. In addition to the treatment of drug addicts, they can also bring along their preschool children with a separate care program. Today, therapy in the therapy village of Villa Lilly includes the treatment of psychological and physical sequelae, such as hepatitis, especially hepatitis C, depression, psychosis, borderline personality disorders, and others for which specialized therapy units are provided. Psycho and addiction therapy is carried out in individual and group therapies, which are based on the indicative therapies, and information events and fallback prevention programs. In the workshops, carpentry, electrical workshop, both training companies, painting, locksmithing, landscape, and building care, and the affiliated agriculture, the patients contribute to preserving the historic buildings and nearly 40 acres of parkland. In order to learn self-responsibility for themselves and their fellow human beings, the patients are also used in the kitchen and in the household areas where they are led by qualified personnel. The institution of the institution is the Youth Counseling and Youth Welfare Association, based in Frankfurt.